Well, let me ask you this, Marcus. Is it safe to say that you can judge by the things a man loves, the things that a man cherishes, can determine whether that man is masculine or feminine?
Give me an example.
Do you know what Diddy love?
What the f?
Here we go.
You do.
For example, you can determine based on what a man loves, you can determine whether he's feminine or not. I see it all the time.
Look, I'm about to go off the rails.
I'm in Atlanta, bro. I see a lot of feminine. I see a lot of femininity in some of these jokers walking around here based on the things they love.
Dude, look, so I looked up the definition of like how so I could discuss it in full context, and one of the things they said was a removal of masculinity was homosexuality. That people are commonly associated with a removal of masculinity. So it's like effemination. But throwing this monkey wrench in a Diddy thing, and I don't believe this, but I heard this before. So let me, again, I don't believe this, but I heard this before. That his reason for wanting to do that with men had nothing to do with attraction to men. It was his desire to.
How do you perceive the relationship between love and masculinity? And do you think one influences the other?
Yeah, y'all confusing to me, man. So if I share my love for my son, does that make me less masculine? If I share love for my brother, does that make me less masculine? I mean, because that's what y'all making it sound like. A motherfucker tell you love you, man, you soft for the motherfucker. Well, look, if that's how you feel, y'all can go fuck yourselves, kiss my ass. I came up from an era where it's unfortunate our fathers probably didn't tell us they loved us because it was uncommon. It wasn't considered what y'all consider masculine. His grandfather didn't do that. It just wasn't the thing that you didn't hear your father tell you he loved you. Now, some of you motherfuckers probably needed to hear your father tell you he loved you. Maybe you wouldn't be acting the way y'all acting. But I make sure I tell my son I love him because I never heard it from my father. The reason I do it because I want my son to know he's loved. Now we'll tell our daughters in a minute we love them. That's not a problem. Nobody's gonna look at you crazy or look at you differently. But if you tell your son, I love you, and man, you getting all soft and mushy. What are you doing that for, man? There's nothing wrong with that. Your son should know his father loves you. He should know he cares about you. I don't think you less masculine because you say you love you. Jay, I love you, brother, and I appreciate what you do with you and your network. Right on. So if y'all think I'm a soft motherfucker, y'all can come over and try me if you want to. Y'all can come over and try me. See, I'll show you how soft I am. I'm gonna leave it there.
Pause. Super pause.
The question with vulnerability and love. Because you love your son and you're vulnerable to him, that does not define your masculinity. And that is not a shot saying that how you just phrased it or interpreted it, that it was a shot.
No, but did you hear what Manic said? Did you hear what Manic said? If you love too much, it could make you soft. That's what he said.
No, I said if you love the wrong thing, if you pedestalize the wrong thing, it can make you soft because you're not going to have good discernment.
I heard you wrong. My bad, brother.
Hank, when he said that, I was thinking about somebody allowing a woman to run all over them, not setting no boundaries, doing whatever she say because you in love with her. And in that case, the love made you less masculine.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Marcus, it may not be love. Like when you was in high school, you more likely didn't. You had no idea what love is, but you were infatuated by the girl, but not necessarily in love with her. Yes, sir.
Your love and vulnerability has nothing to do with your masculinity.
I agree with that.
Your masculinity is you putting on your boots, you going out there, keeping a roof over your head, food on the table, doing what you do, your duty. Strong, aggressive leadership. A subsect of something else is your vulnerability for your son. That has nothing to do to define your masculinity as a man. How he chooses to phrase it and how we're playing telephone now. By the time it got to you, it was understood that involving that within your masculinity is not what it is. And then you came with your response. Who said you're a father? Of course, you can be vulnerable. You have a son, but that does not define you as a masculine, your masculinity as a man. I would say Hank are the most blue collar, boot wearing, masculine individual that I know from off of these panels that stand on his square. Other ones, no. That's all I'm saying. Your love and your vulnerability for your son does not define your masculinity.
I don't think anybody was trying to define it. In fact, I would say the most masculine.
But I was the reason I came, I said that's because I heard my man Manic. Now, like I said, I misunderstood what he was saying, and it was my bad. But when I heard it, I was like, God damn! And then heard what everybody else
to clarify. I appreciate it, Hank.
Yeah, that's it. Manic, you love me, brother? You love me?
I don't know.
Yeah, Hank, I got love. I got love for you, brother. I got love for all the brothers.
I rock with you, though.
That's what I'm talking about.
I rock with you, Hank.
Right on, my brother. I appreciate that.
But Hank brought up a great point. We gotta always, like with your kids, they should not go the rest of their life without you hearing you express affection for them, knowing that you love them, the people in your family that matter to you. Because when they dead, you can't redeem yourself and put that back in them. And when you dead, they don't need to question that or wonder about any of that. So that I know it's a tangent, but he brought in. I tell my kids I love them every day, in the morning and the night.
Well, let me ask you this, Marcus: is it safe to say that you can judge by the things a man loves, the things that a man cherishes, can determine whether that man is masculine or feminine?
Give me an example.
Do you know what Diddy love?
What the fuck?
Here we go.
You do. For example, you can determine based on what a man loves. You can determine whether he's feminine or not. I see it all the time.
Look, I'm about to go off the rails.
I'm in Atlanta, bro. I see a lot of feminine. I see a lot of femininity in some of these jokers walking around here based on the things they love.
Dude, look, so I looked up the definition of like how so I could discuss it in full context, and one of the things they said was a removal of your masculinity was homosexuality, that people is commonly associated with a removal of masculinity. So it's like effemination. But throwing this monkey wrench in a Diddy thing, and I don't believe this, but I heard this before. So let me again, I don't believe this, but I heard this before. That his reason for wanting to do that with men had nothing to do with attraction to men. It was his desire to dominate men, which would be a masculine trait.
Yeah.
And I don't believe this, but y'all probably heard that too about him. I'm just saying, like.
Well, so
Marcus, are you saying depending on what role you're playing,
hold on,
you could be masculine or feminine? Is that what you're saying? So if you a Packer, if you're a Packer versus a Packy, are you saying that that's masculine? No, that's what we're doing.
No, I'm saying specifically in regards to Diddy. I heard the reason that he felt that way was because he wanted to dominate men, which domination tends to be a masculine trait. That's the monkey wrench. I mean,
I'll say this from a psychological perspective. We got to keep in mind Diddy has been in that position, in a position of power, essentially since the 90s, right? And just over the course of time, once you get to a certain point, then you're, especially if you're power hungry, you're going to keep pushing that boundary further and further along, right? So I'm quite sure that that in his case, once he did become, a fun boy or whatever the case may be, I think that his reasoning behind that validated it to him was exactly what Marcus said, was him looking for that extension of power, because he already did everything else. I can go out and buy whatever female that I want to. So, hey, Kenny, let what's up, man? Let's go kick it. I'm gonna go take you shopping. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. You know,
hey, Biz, to take it one step further, now that I'm fleshing this idea out again, I don't agree with this stuff. But when you when you do that in jail, taking your what?
Say that last part again.
They call it taking your what?
Your
manhood, right?
My masculinity. Yeah. That's literally what people say. You man trying to take your manhood.
Yeah, yeah.